Hey, Violino Chime. We're going to go over to the next book here. This is book one, Cihuacoatl. Cihuacoatl. Okay, so here it's spelled like Oi, but it's Cihuacoatl, which means snake woman. Okay, and so we're going to go ahead and translate this, see what we can come up with. So, Inik Chikwase Capítulo. Okay, so this is uh, the sixth chapter. Onkan Motenewa Inoxenka Tlapanaya Insihuateteo. Onkan is there is. We've gone over that word already. So there is or there are. This word is expressed. Okay, so there is expressed another very divided the Cihuateteo. Okay, so basically this word, the sentence is saying, yeah, we are dividing up the Siwa Teteo, because the next section is the female Teteo, which is what this is referring to, the female Teteo. Okay, they're being divided up. Now, it's being translated here by Anderson and Dibble as um, here are named the highest of the goddesses whom the natives worshipped. Okay, so that's the next part. So here, what I just translated, they said here are named the highest of the goddesses. Okay. In Kimoteotiaya. So that's a word that we've covered before. It means they worship them. They worship them. In Kinteotlapiquiaya. In Nicantlaka. So once again, back in these days, Nicantlaka was used to describe indigenous people. Okay, so it doesn't actually say that here. It just says whom they, but whom they is referring to Nicantlaka. Okay, the indigenous people here, or the people here, if we're translating it literally. And um, we know that this is the worshipped, right? Kimo Teotiaya, or they made for themselves Cihuacoatl as a Teot, and this is the word that translating as falsely. Okay, they falsely revered right here. So let's take a look at this. So this is actually composed of a transitive verb here, bikia, bikia, which means to tell lies about. Okay, tell lies about. So basically, it's saying, they're telling lies about them that they. So yeah, falsely revered as divine, and this is the divine part that they. Okay, they falsely told lies about them being divine. So that's a pretty good translation. All right, Cihuacoatl tecuani. This is very interesting because tecuani is an animal that bites. Literally, those of you who are familiar with Nahuatl grammar, we will recognize qua. Qua is one of the most basic transitive verbs, meaning to eat. Qua. So if I say ni tlaqua, that means I'm eating. If I say ti tlaqua, you are eating, right? And in this case, it's te. Te is the general term for people. Okay. So it's saying that she, there's no prefix, so it's she, see what she is the eater of people. That's what that literally means. Now in modern variants, it's any animal that bites human beings. Okay, let's see if it was different back then. So basically it was just a wild animal, and that's something poisonous, a biter. So exactly what I just said. Anything that's a wild animal that can bite or is dangerous, sometimes poisonous. That's what we're looking at. Very interesting that they're calling her that because She's a tailed, right? I don't know. This doesn't seem to be painting her in a positive light. Cihuacoatl. She's the people eater. E1, she's a wild animal. She's dangerous. E1, Tetsawi. She's a supernatural omen, a frightening thing. She causes terror. Okay, a thing that causes terror. She's a thing that causes terror. This is like a repetitive. This is like for effect. You know, they're putting the te two times. So that means very, very, very frightening. And ni ending means the person who does that thing, right? The person who is very, very frightening. And let's see what it says here. Savage beast and an evil omen. She was an evil omen to men. Um, Ignoyot. Ignoyot is misery. Look how they wrote it here. We gotta track the Nahuatl because I fixed it, right? But look at this. This took me a long time to figure out that it was Ignoyot. It doesn't look like it. And so we gotta be very careful because some of these vowels just blend in and makes it very difficult to know what they're actually writing. But again, that's why we're doing this so that we can become better at it, identifying the orthography and reading it fluently. So ignoyot, this is the word again. Kite ititia. Kite ititia. Now see they're not translating this word actually. It just says she brought men misery, right? But what it's really saying is she showed them key. The key is referring to this. She showed them misery. Okay. But they're saying brought men misery. So that's not exactly right. As we saw, they're not really sometimes they ignore it. Right now they're mistranslating it. So we gotta be careful with that one. So it says ka mitoayaya. Ka mitoaya. Sorry, I was doing the Azteca version of it. So that's this, for it was said. Again, mitoa is just he or she says. If you say mitoaya, that means she or he said. But in this case, they're making like an inactive verb. It was said, generally, right? She gave men the digging stick. The gave part is here. Okay, the maka. If you say maka, that means to give, but it's ya, so that means gave, past tense. And kite, this is people. It says it's they're translating as men, but that is really people, not just men. And then the key is the actual items, which is the mekapali and the weekly. Okay. So it says that she gave men, or what, not men, she gave people the weekly, she gave them the mekapali, okay, and which they're translating as the digging stick, the tump line. And then it says she visited men therewith. This is the verb that I could find. Demotlaya means she threw stones. She threw stones. Let's see what ik is here. Uh, with when for this reason. Oh, okay, so maybe it's like for this reason. So ik for this reason she threw stones. Okay, so I like that. She visited men therewith. I don't know where they got that from. I don't see any verb for visited, so I'm just gonna say it's wrong. And therefore, or with that, what did I say was Oh, for that reason. Okay, and so for that reason, she gave them those things, and for that reason, she threw stones at them, is what this is translated as, which is completely different here. Now, if you look at the picture, no, that's actually not it. But there's a weekly, it's a digging stick. They just use it to dig, and it's for farming, for planting seeds. The Mekapali, they call it the tump line. It's very interesting. The Mekapali looks like this. So it's this strap. It's a strap that they're putting on their heads. It's used to this very day. Indigenous people still use it, and they use it to carry heavy loads. It's kind of like on their head. It's helping them to carry the load on their back. It's the Mekapali. So they're talking about like hard labor, right there. She gave people hard labor, and with that, she threw stones at them. That's how we want to read that. Okay, au is and, inik, inik. Let's look at inik again. Remember, inik has several different meanings depending on whether it's with a number or not. So it's not with a number in this case. So they're saying, and as she appeared, and in that way, okay, as to, yeah, so we'll say that they're right about that translation. Okay, and as she appeared, so look, they actually translated it correctly finally. They're not ignoring it, right? She appeared. Literally, it's more like she made them see her basically. But I mean that's the same thing as appear. So I like it. And as she appeared, right? As she appeared before men. Before men is the dead part. Now look at this. It says she was covered with chalk like a court lady. Okay, this is it right here. Motenistiliaya, iquin tekpan siwat. Motenistiliaya, iquin tekpan siwat. That's what they translated right here. Before men, um, she appeared before men. She was covered with chalk like a court lady. So equine means like, tekpan is like a higher class person. And then siwat. So higher class, siwat, the court lady, yeah. But this is actually a verb. So this covered with chalk is actually not right. I actually looked this up and Richard Andrews actually pointed this out. So it says, they read this as she used to cause herself to have Lyme, which they rendered as she was covered with chalk. But their analysis is incorrect. How many people have been misled by this erroneous translation into believing that Aztec court ladies covered themselves in chalk, right? So just this one mistranslation can really affect a lot of things. The correct analysis is she used to cause herself to appear in relation to people. She used to appear in public, is what this means. Okay. She used to appear in public. So like I said, it's a verb and it doesn't mean covered, but she used to appear before people. She used to appear in public is what that means. Okay. Like a court lady. And then how is that? Nanacoche, Iznacoche, Istayan Moquetza, Istayan Actica, Isteacatla Icaya, Istacticac, Huelpani Quiquetza, in Ineash Atlaul, in Yashtlaquil. Now let's take a look at this. Nanacoche, they're translating as earplugs. Okay. And then this is the eats. Eats is Itzli, Isli Nacoche. the obsidian earplugs. So she wore earplugs, she wore this, the end means she owned, right? She owned um the earplugs, she owned the obsidian earplugs. Let's just type in earplugs and see if we get that same word. Okay, there it is. This is Amaracoche, because it's Amat, but we're looking at just this part. Nacoche. Nacoche is the earplug. Nacoche. Nacoche. Okay, so it's not popping up, but that looks right. Okay, Istayan Moquetza. This is means standing. It's standing. Istayan. She says garbed in white. Istayan Actica, standing white. This is all just white. Istakikaya, Istaktikak, pure white. So she's wearing a lot of white. Well, pani means over. In modern variants, it'll be ipan. Ipan is how you would say that. Well, ipan. In this case, it's well pani. Kiketsa. It rose up. Kiketsa rose up. What rose up? So it could be rose up or standing, right? But it's what rose up, this rose up, her womanly hair dress. These words have this root. E, okay, so E is the possessive. Okay, so E is saying that she owns them. So it's just another way of saying ownership, right? It's hers. It's hers. What's hers? Axtlaquil, which is the proper female coiffure in the Valley of Mexico. This is unpossessed would be Axtlaquili. Axtlaquili. And let's see if anything pops up. Axtlaquili. This is it. So this hairstyle you see right here with the two little puffs, that's what it is. So when we look at her, we should see that. She's got the Axtlaquili. Okay, very popular hairstyle. Back in the 16th century. Yovaltica, now I want to show you this because the word doesn't look anything like it. Yovaltica. It says by night, right? Put down here. So it's saying by night she walked weeping, wailing. Also, she was an omen of war. Look at this. This is Yovaltica. It took me a minute to understand what they were writing, Yovaltica. But then I remembered. See, the thing is, a lot of these words are not in dictionaries, but like you kind of just have to know what is the root word, right? Like I know the root word for night is Yowali, Yowali. So when I saw this, I realized, oh, okay, this is not an I sound. This is a Yowal, Yowaltica. So that's kind of how you have to do it. Is just, well, what word can I see there, right? And then that'll help you. Like for example, like choca. I know choca means cry, cry, right? And so it says weeping. She walked weeping. So what is this nenka? This nenka is nemi. Nemi means to live, but it's more like to go around, to go around like that. So it's like if you use nenka, it's he had lived, he used to live. Okay, so she went around basically, she went around living, crying, is what that's saying. This is wailing right here, wailing. And then no is also Yao Tetsawit Katka. So you again, this is hard to see because this they put IAU, but we know that war words have Yao in it, right? So and you would have to be Yao Tetsawit, which is omen of war, right? And so once we get used to the messed up orthography, it becomes easier and easier. Katka is just the past tense of to be. So she was, you know, right here. She was. And so that's that part. Once again, Yovaltika chocatinenka, tekoya tinenka, no ya tetzawit katka. Okay, and then au yui, au yui. And in this wise, put this up here, was her image arrayed. Okay, Ishipla is her image. Of course, we know Mo Chichiwaya already. It's she dressed herself, right? Let's see if we can find this Yui. Oh, I think it's Iwi. Iwi in this way. Okay, so this Iwi, fix this. It looked kind of weird. Anyways, Iwi. I'll add a little note here. In this way. And in this way, was her image arrayed in a shayak, her face. This is her face, shayak. E shayak. This is possessed. E shayak. Okay. If you plug in shayak here, shayak. Anyways, it's the root for face. Shayak. I don't know why it's not popping up here. Let's try. Oh, actually, let's. When all else fails, put face. So Ishli, okay, Ishli. But Ishayak is a variation of that. Okay, but it's not popping up anywhere. Shayak. Okay. Oh, there's a variation there. Okay. Shayakat. You see that? Shayakat. So there's a lot of words here, and that's what this one is. Shayakat. Um, so Ishli is a word, but then shayakat también. So that one is correct. It's her face was painted one half red. Chiltik is red. Gochi, Sentla. Uh, let's see. I'm not trying to. One half red, one half black. Okay, so the Sentla is probably the half part. Let's check. Sentlaco. Oh yeah, because Tlaco is half. I don't know what that sen means though. Tlaco. See? Sometimes it comes. I don't know what the sen is though, but Tlaco definitely. Let's try over here. Tlaco is definitely half. So sometimes we gotta work to find it. Maybe the sen part is the painted. Sen Tlaco. Okay, it was half painted red. I really want to find that out. Sen. Let's see. Sen. There it is. Hmm. Entirely. The entire thing. Hmm. I don't know. Saying it means the entire thing, but then okay, I don't know about that one, but I don't know where they're getting the paint from. But what they're saying is that her face, half of it was red, half of it was black. Tliltik is black. Tliltik. and Chiltic is red. Okay. And then she had a headdress of eagle feathers. That's this one. Cuautli. Sone. She owned the eagle feathers. And then Teocuitla, as we mentioned before, is gold. And then we just saw the Nacoche, right? The Nacoch is going to be the earplug. She had. All right, so we're learning words. Let me add that here. Now again, like we're saying, a lot of these are not in the dictionaries. Unfortunately, there is no dictionary that exists that is more than 20,000 words. I mean, that's ludicrous. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of words that exist. A lot of the words that we're seeing here don't even exist in dictionaries, and so that's what's making our job a little bit more difficult. That's one of the major difficulties in the Nahuatl language. The lack of quality dictionaries. Because if we had a quality dictionary, well, we could just look it up, right? And voila, it'll be done. But look at the extra work we have to go through. Okay, so it's a blouse, the V-neck. Blouse with the V-neck, which they're translating as a shoulder shawl. And then she carried a turquoise mosaic weaving stick, which is right here. Shield, turquoise, and it's Tzotzopase. All right, that's Cihuacoatl. I don't think it provides a lot of clarity on as to who she was. I think it um, kind of makes it a little bit more blurry. You know, there's nothing really specific, I think, but I realized something because a lot of times she's likened to Kilasli. Kilasli is a very, very important Teo. And the fifth son, she grounded up the bones that Quetzalcoatl brought to her. And so see, here it is. This is where they're getting it from. Whenever you hear Cihuacoatl is Kilasli, there are several times where it says Cihuacoatl Kilasli. So that gives us a little bit more clarity than we were given in the Florentine. You know, sometimes you gotta look at other sources. So that was her role. You know, she grounded up humans. So she helped create the people of the fifth world as a result. And she's kind of like a companion to Quetzalcoatl. Maybe that's why she appears after him, right? Quetzalcoatl. I don't know. But they're not being very explicit for whatever reason. This is a picture of her, by the way. So you can see her face painted, a lot of the shawl, a lot of things that they talked about, the headdress, eagle feathers are all there. Okay, so she's got eagle feathers on her headdress. That's really cool. Let's see if we can find a picture, color picture of her. Siwa Goat. Oh, look, she's got her hairstyle. Remember we said she has the little two tufts of hair? I saw it in one of these. I don't know where it went though. But yeah, this is her, Cihuacoatl. And I don't think we're gonna be able to see her eagle feathers. A lot of these reconstructions have Quetzal, but it should be eagle. Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna be able to find her. All right, so let's see what got. Let me know if you have any questions. As we're going, as you can see, it's becoming easier and easier to read. This is awesome. All right, see you next time. Taskamati y moitase.